When her parts first crossed the ocean, no one imagined she would become more than just a statue. She was meant to be a gift of friendship, a symbolic gesture between France and the United States. Today, she greets millions arriving in America, reminding the world that freedom is not just a word carved into monuments, but a living value, something to be cherished every day. Her proud silhouette rising above the water has become one of the most recognizable symbols on Earth. But behind this calm and majestic figure lies a story of vision, passion, engineering genius, and human dedication. A story born in turbulent times, yet enduring across generations. In the mid-19th century, France was a nation in turmoil. After revolutions, wars, and political upheavals, many intellectuals began to question what true freedom meant, not in speeches or declarations, but in the lives of ordinary people. One of them was Edouard de La Boulaye, a lawyer, historian, and idealist. He admired American democracy, seeing it as proof that liberty and equality could coexist. In 1865, during a dinner in Paris, he proposed that the best way to honor the 100th anniversary of American independence would be a gift, a shared creation of the French and American people, symbolizing friendship and common ideals. Among the guests that evening was a young sculptor, Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, who had long dreamed of building something monumental. His artistic imagination blended romanticism with technical precision. When he heard Laboulaye's words, he realized this could be the project of his lifetime. Bartholdi began sketching, researching, consulting engineers. He envisioned a woman, the allegory of liberty, whose torch would light the world. His inspiration came from Eugène Delacroix's famous painting, Liberty Leading the People. That woman carried the flag of revolution. Bartholdi's liberty would carry a torch of enlightenment, not through force or violence, but through knowledge and hope. Interestingly, the statue's face was modeled after his mother Charlotte, giving liberty a human presence, calm, dignified, and full of grace. Work began in 1875. Bartholdi handled the artistic design, but he needed an engineer capable of giving the colossal sculpture both strength and lightness. That man was Gustave Eiffel, the same genius who would later design the Eiffel Tower. Eiffel created a revolutionary internal iron framework to support the statue's thin copper skin. Instead of a solid stone core, the structure was designed to breathe, to flex gently in the wind and adapt to changes in temperature. The outer layer was made of copper sheets, just 0.1 of an inch thick, shaped by hand in massive Parisian workshops. Artisans hammered every curve against wooden molds and plaster casts, forming the soft, flowing lines that define Liberty's figure. During this time, parts of the statue were completed and displayed to the public. In 1876, to celebrate the centennial of American independence, the arm holding the torch was shipped to Philadelphia and exhibited at the Centennial Exposition. Visitors could even climb the staircase inside the arm and imagine the monument to come. 2 years later, in 1878, the head of the statue was shown at the Paris World's Fair. Both exhibitions captivated the public and helped raise funds for the project. In France, lotteries, concerts, exhibitions, and even sales of miniature replicas financed the work. By 1884, the full statue was assembled in Paris, towering above the rooftops, already an icon before it ever reached America. After inspection and testing, it was carefully dismantled into 350 individual pieces, packed into 214 wooden crates, and prepared for its voyage across the Atlantic. When the French ship Eris entered New York Harbor on June 17, 1885, crowds gathered to welcome the extraordinary gift. Boats filled the bay, orchestras played, and newspapers hailed the arrival of a new symbol of freedom. But America still faced a massive challenge, building the pedestal strong enough to support the 225-ton monument. The design came from architect Richard Morris Hunt, but financing it proved difficult. That's when Joseph Pulitzer, publisher of the New York World, stepped in. He launched a public fundraising campaign urging everyday Americans to donate even a few cents. In return, he printed the names of every donor, rich or poor, in his newspaper. More than 120,000 people contributed, turning the effort into one of history's first examples of crowdfunding, supported by citizens from both America and France. The pedestal rose on Bedloe's Island, now Liberty Island, strategically located at the gateway to New York Harbor, the very first site for arriving immigrants. By April 1886, it was ready. Over the next 4 months, workers reassembled the statue piece by piece, aligning every numbered section with Eiffel's steel skeleton. They battled strong winds, scorching heat, and limited tools. But precision was crucial. Even the slightest error could distort the statue's proportions. Finally, on October 28, 1886, nearly 10 years after construction began, the Statue of Liberty was unveiled. The ceremony drew thousands of New Yorkers, French dignitaries, and U.S. President Grover Cleveland himself. From an engineering standpoint, the Statue of Liberty was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The figure alone stands 151 feet tall, and with its pedestal, reaches 305 feet. It weighs over 450,000 pounds, including 62,000 pounds of copper and 250,000 pounds of iron. Her index finger is 8 feet long, and her head weighs as much as a truck. To reach the crown, visitors must climb 354 spiral steps. From the moment she was unveiled, the Statue of Liberty was more than a gift. It was a message. For millions of immigrants arriving by sea, she was the first glimpse of a new homeland, a light of hope for a better life. Every part of her design carries meaning. The torch represents enlightenment and knowledge. The tablet bears the date July 4th, 1776, the birth of American freedom. The 7 rays of her crown stand for the 7 seas and 7 continents, and the broken chains at her feet symbolize liberation from tyranny and oppression. At first, the statue's copper surface shone with a rich bronze color, but within a few decades, it developed its iconic green patina. Chemists confirmed that this natural layer actually protected the metal beneath, and so the green color of liberty was born. Over time, her symbolism deepened. During World War I, she stood as a beacon of unity. In World War II, she became a sign of hope for the free world. Countless American soldiers departing from New York looked to her as their last sight of home, and their first upon return. Though conceived as a national allegory, the statue has also been reinterpreted as a symbol of feminine strength and independence, especially in an era when women were still fighting for the right to vote. In 1924, the Statue of Liberty was declared a U.S. national monument. In 1984, it was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. Standing by the sea, she faces constant exposure to salt, wind, and weather, and requires ongoing care. The largest restoration took place in 1986, marking her 100th anniversary. Her torch was replaced, her framework reinforced, and lighting systems modernized. The new torch was covered with 24-karat gold leaf, allowing it to gleam in the sunlight for miles around. Today, Liberty enlightening the world is far more than a sculpture. It is a global symbol of hope, freedom, and courage. Over 4 million visitors come each year, and for countless immigrants, she remains their first memory of America, the land where liberty was meant for all. As night falls over New York Harbor and the city lights shimmer on the water, the torch of the Statue of Liberty still burns bright. It is no longer just a gift from one nation to another. It is the light of an idea, one that has survived wars, crises, and generations. A reminder that freedom is never guaranteed. It must be protected, just as we preserve this monument itself. For some, she is a masterpiece of art and engineering. For others, the spiritual heart of America. And for millions around the world, gazing upon her from ships and airplanes, she still carries the same timeless message: liberty enlightens the world. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Monumental Minds and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tale of human genius, ambition, and architectural wonder. Leave a comment below. Which monument should we explore next?